Alright, today we're going to learn how to identify monosaccharides. The first thing that we need to keep in mind when we're looking at monosaccharides is that there's two basic kinds. There's pyranose, which is a 6-membered ring, and furanose, which is a 5-membered ring. Generally speaking, the pyranose form is going to be more stable, and so we're going to see more of those as we go through different kinds of monosaccharides today. This is glucose. Glucose is the most simple monosaccharide. You'll note that all of the hydroxy groups are in the equatorial position, which is the least straining on the ring, except for right here. We have the anomeric carbon. This is the anomeric carbon. You can note that its position is right next to the oxygen in the ring. And this carbon is able to have either an axial or an equatorial bond. If it's an axial bond, we call it alpha. If it's an equatorial bond, we call it beta. All of these are equatorial, but if we switch them and make them axial, we will change the nature of the sugar. And we're going to go and explore those.
Alright, we've learned glucose. Now there are 5 other sugars that we got to learn. 3 of those sugars are very similar to glucose. They just defer at one of the carbons on the sugar. And we have a good mnemonic for the first 3 of 5 to remember those 3 sugars. And that is 2, 3, 4. Man, have I got abs galore. So, to start off with the first sugar, mannose. It's different than glucose at the second carbon. The first carbon's right here, second carbon is right here. It is different because it is up, or axial, and glucose, it is down, or equatorial. Allose, or 3, it's different at the third carbon. 1, 2, 3. And it's different, once again, it's axial at that third carbon position, where glucose, it is equatorial. And finally, we have galactose, where it's different at the fourth carbon. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it is up, or axial, where glucose is equatorial. Once again, let's go over this mnemonic. 2, 3, 4, man, have I got abs galore. Remember it.
Now we're going to talk about 2 sugars that typically appear in their furanose form. Remember that furanose is a 5-membered ring. We have fructose and ribose. These 2 are interesting, and you have to ascribe a personality to them to remember them, at least for me. The way I remember fructose is that it's a sugar commonly found in fruits. So I picture a fruit hat on fructose doing the can-can, because this hydroxy group is up, whereas this one's down, kind of like, doing the can-can. And someone who does the can-can would wear a fruit hat. Ribose is a stand-up guy, quite the opposite. Got both his feet on the ground, or in other words, hydroxy groups are down. And it's special because it is the only sugar to have 5 carbons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whereas fructose, like all the others, has 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Chemistry.